A very good day to Madam Sohani. My name is Kasthuri Balamurugan with metric number 01DBT21F1050. So today my group mates and I will be presenting about problem-based task. I'll be presenting about the first part, which is evaluate the level of risk to the company and its customers. So the first one, first and foremost, the company must assess the damage that was caused by the cyber attack. Finding out what kinds of consumer information were lost, how many customers were impacted, and what to do time the attackers had access to the information are the first steps in determining what type of information has been compromised. The reputation of the financial services company may be damaged as a result of a cyber attack, which could have a long-term effect on their corporate operations. The business should evaluate the possible harm to its reputation and take action to lessen the effects, such as being open with clients and the general public. The provider of financial services should also evaluate the potential effects on their clients, including the possibility of identity theft, financial fraud, or other types of harm. This can assist in determining the activities that the business needs to take alert clients and reduce the damage. Other than that, the company should notify their affected customers about the breach as soon as possible. Precisely identify those who have been impacted by the data leak. This will enable the company to specifically target the message at the affected customers group. This includes the name, account number, and any other relevant information in the communication to the particular customer group who have been impacted. Besides that, giving them access to information about safeguarding their financial and identified information would be very essential in managing risk. Moreover, to prevent further breaches, the company should take steps to secure its system. Establish the assessment scope, including the infrastructure, application systems that need to be evaluated. All systems that handle or store sensitive data, such as customer, financial, and payment information, should be included in this. And then, system and administrators and other stakeholders can be questioned in interviews and documentation, policies, logs, and report on system activity can all be examined. While penetration testing is a more laborious procedure that mimics a real world attack to find weaknesses in the system, vulnerability scans are automated scans that look for known vulnerabilities in the system. In addition, the company should also consider offering free credit monitoring or other services to affected customers to mitigate potential financial losses. They should ascertain which consumers' personal information, including names, addresses, social security numbers, and financial information, was compromised by the cyber attack. Regularly assess the program's performance to make sure it is giving the affected customers the benefits anticipated and that any necessary adjustment that have been made. The last one would be the company should develop a response plan for future cyber attacks. Assemble a team of individuals from different areas of the organizations, including IT, legal, compliance, public relations, and executive leadership. This team will then be responsible for managing the response for the cyber attack. Identify the data that has been compromised and the scope of the cyber attack. Not to forget, the company should report the cyber attack immediately to any relevant regulatory organization, including Securities and Exchange Commission, which is known as SEC, and Federal Trade Commission, which is known as FTC. Okay, and also let them know which data was lost and let them know how to protect themselves.
My name is SHASHWINI Ravi with metric number 012321F1016. Now let's look at question number 2. Develop a comprehensive plan for improving cybersecurity policies and practice across the organization. 1. Implement a comprehensive incident response plan. This strategy should outline what to do in the event of a cyber attack, who to call, how to limit the damage, and how to get things back to normal. To lessen the effects of an attack, it is crucial to have an efficient and prompt reaction to cyber threat. Determine the people or group in charge of handling and responding to issues. These teams could include management, IT, legal, public relations, and human resource. Make sure to create a communication strategy outlining the incident response teams interaction with internal team members as well as external stakeholders like clients, partners, and regulatory bodies. Second, train employees on cybersecurity best practices. Start by emphasizing the value of cybersecurity to your staff. Describe the potential effect of cyber attacks on the business and its clients, as well as the need of everyone adhering the best practices. The organization can also give concern instances of cyber attacks that have affected the financial service sectors and how they might be avoided by adhering to best practices. Use real-world examples to show how cyber attacks can occur and what employees can do to prevent them. Phishing attacks, malware infestations, and con artists using social engineering are examples of this. Thirdly, implement multi-factor authentication. Select an authentication technique based on the requirements of the organization. Tokens, smart card, biometrics, and SMS-based authentication are typically techniques. Keep track and frequently test the multi-factor authentication system effectiveness. To find potential weakness and dangers, conduct penetration testing. Financial services organization can improve their security and lower the risk of cyber attacks by deploying multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication should be used in conjunction with other security features like firewalls, antivirus software, and intrusion detection system, but it should be kept in mind that it is not a foolproof solution. Implementation of encryption. Create an encryption plan that addresses all platforms including database, storage systems, and communication channels where sensitive data is kept or sent. Guidelines for choosing encryption methods, key management, and access control should all be included of this plan. To make sure encryption is being used efficiently and that the system is secure, it should be regularly monitored and audited. This entails doing routine penetration tests, vulnerability assessment, and access log reviews to spot suspect activity. In conclusion, a financial service organization that has experienced a cyber attacks must apply encryption using a truth plan that addresses all locations where sensitive data is housed or transported. Fifthly, regularly review and update security policy and procedure. Reviewing the cyber assault that financial service organization underwent in detail is the first step. This can assist the organization in identifying the faults in the present security policies and procedures as well as the weakness the attacker took advantage of. The organization can update the security policies and procedures in light of this analysis to more effectively close these weaknesses. They should assess and revise the security policy and procedures in light of the post-attack evaluation and the security governance structure. Access controls, data protection, incident response, third-party risk management, and other crucial areas for your company's cybersecurity should all be covered by these policies and procedures. For now, this only for my part. Next will be continued by presenter Thilasini.
Hello everyone, my name is THILASINI and my metric number is 01DT21F1057. Okay, today I'm going to present about mitigate actions for the risk of cyber attacks. Okay, before that I'm going to explain what is mitigation. Mitigation refers to taking actions to reduce the impact or likelihood of a risk. This can involve implementing security measures or procedures that reduce likelihood of a risk occurring or minimize the consequences if it does happen. Okay, first action is enhance access management. All user accounts should apply multi-factor authentication to increase security beyond usernames and passwords. We have to continuously monitor access permissions using the minimalistic approach. Second action is regular audit and review. The organization should conduct regular security audits and assessments to determine the organization's cybersecurity posture, weak points, and vulnerabilities. It is a process of routinely monitoring, assessing, and analyzing a system or process to make sure it is operating successfully and effectively. Okay. Next action for the risk is secure encryption and data leakage protection. To prevent unauthorized access to sensitive customer data while it is in transit and at rest, strong encryption protocols should be implemented. Next, a security awareness training. In order to decrease the possibility of successful assaults, it is essential to educate the company's staff about the dangers of cyber attacks as well as how to spot and how to defend against them. The organization should regularly reinforce training by running awareness campaigns and reminders to the employees. Next action is work with trusted partners. Like organizations should use proper caution when choosing third-party vendors or employees or partners to make sure that they have robust security procedures in the place, which is company. Then organization should implement through program for managing vendor risk that involves due diligence, security evaluations, and continuing monitoring of outside partners or employees or vendors. Next action is continuous system maintenance and updating. The organization actually should keep the systems up to date with the most secure software and protected against vulnerabilities is the aim of patch and update management. Lastly, the action is data backups. In the case of a system failure, natural disaster, cyber attack, or other unforeseen incident, regular data backups help to prevent data loss like information of the customers and more. Backups will offer a dependable and secure solution to recover lost or corrupted data, enabling businesses to rapidly and minimally disturb their operations. Next, I'm going to present about risk control method. Okay, first risk control method is provide ongoing cybersecurity education and training to employees. The organization should make sure that their employees have the information and abilities necessary to recognize and stop cyber threats. But this is by providing continual cybersecurity education and training. Regular cybersecurity training can ensure that employees are up to date with the latest threats and they know how to respond to them. Okay. Next, regular system updates and patching. Make sure that programs and systems are frequently patched and upgraded to fix vulnerabilities and lower the risk of cyber attacks. This thing includes your operating systems, applications, firmware, and any other software running on your system. It is very critical to install these updates as soon as you can because several software manufacturers frequently release fixes and upgrades to fix security flaws. Okay. Next, Next risk control method is enforce strict access control. The organization should use the least privilege principle to restrict access to sensitive information and systems, and also implement strong authentication methods like multi-factor authentication for all users' accounts, including those of partners, contractors, and employees. The organization should regularly evaluate and modify access rights according to staff roles and responsibilities. Next, Next risk control method is establish and enforce strong cybersecurity policies and standards. It can assist organizations in identifying and ranking their most important assets, systems, and data, as well as in putting protective measures in place to guard against cyber threats. It can also assist the organization in adhering to industry best practices, which may lower the risk of penalties or an reputational harm in the event of a violation. Okay. Last risk control method is develop an incident response plan. A prepared plan for handling a cyber assault can lessen the harm done and hasten recovery. The strategy should outline how to find and isolate the attack, evaluate the harm, and restore systems and data. By providing explicit instruction on how to restore systems and data after an attack, a well-designed incident response plan might help in accelerating the recovery process. These risk control methods can help companies reduce the likelihood and effect of cyber attacks and protect valuable data and resources from loss. Any organization that wants to reduce cyber risk and protect itself from cyber threats must implement a true cybersecurity strategy that incorporates these risk control methods. That's all from me. Thank you.
Again with me, Shashwini. Now let's look at monitoring and measuring effectiveness of a plan to prevent cyber attacks. At measurable goals. For your strategy, it is crucial to establish SMART, which is mean, specific, measurable, realistic, relevant, and time-bound targets. The intended result of your strategy should be specified in these goals, which should be in line with the overarching objectives of your organization. Secondly, establish performance metrics. Must create performance metric to monitor your progress. The measurements should be clear, measurable, and tied to your objectives. For instance, you may assess how many successful cyber attacks are avoided, how quickly a cyber attack is discovered and responded to, or what proportion of staff members complete cyber security training. That's all from me. Next will be continued by presenter Thilasini. Thank you.
Okay, now the third way to monitoring and measuring effectiveness of plan to prevent cyber attack is monitor and analyze data. You have to gather data on your performance measures and constantly analyze the data to spot patterns and areas that might use improvement. Utilize this information to help you decide on your strategy and to make any required modifications to increase its success. Next, conduct regular assessments. Regular evaluations such as vulnerability scans and penetration testing will show you where your security architecture is weak and will help you to improve it. These evaluations must be carried out at least once in a year and following any major modifications to your infrastructure.
I'll be presenting about monitoring and measuring effectiveness of a plan to prevent the cyber attacks. Review and update your plan to make sure your strategy is still successful and relevant. Review it frequently. As the threat environment, technology, and your organization's infrastructure or applications change, update it as necessary. The last one is evaluate the effectiveness of your plan. By contrasting your performance measure with your objectives, you may assess the viability of your strategy. Analyze your results to see if you meet your goals and pinpoint any areas where you fell short. Make any required modifications to your strategy using the information here to guide your future planning. So that is all from me and my group mates. Thank you.